So I am so excited for this party. I've been looking forward to it since last year. So I'm starting off by doing my hair. So I brushed it out and I'm using this blow dry shampoo, which to be honest, it's really good and it does a really great job at like volumizing my hair, but I have a really hard time using it. So I kind of spilled it everywhere. Now, I'm starting with the right side of my head, so I clipped up the rest of my hair, which you guys know I always do very haphazardly, and I'm basically just gonna go through and start curling it, just the traditional way where I'm clamping it and I am curling it. And you guys know I like to do my curls like different ways because then it keeps it from clumping together in one direction. And that's totally like a good look if you like the look of the waves going the same way, but I like my hair to be kind of like haphazardly hippie curled, so I like going different ways. Now I also used a ton of hairspray this night because it was pouring rain outside, and I normally don't use hairspray, but it was definitely a necessity for this evening. So I would do a couple curls, yes, I'm holding my hair in my mouth, and then just hairspray the curl to set it in place. But I was being really careful to not get too much hairspray on it because for me, if I put too much hairspray, it really weighs my hair down. So spraying my hair, I can't really tell you if I love this hairspray because like I said, I don't use hairspray too often, but it did a good job on this night. So now I'm moving over to the other side of my head, doing the same thing like so, spraying and curling, and then I'm clipping my bangs back. Okay, so moving on to makeup, I started off with a primer. I'm using my DHC primer, and let me tell you, this makes such a big difference in my makeup wearing all night, like a huge difference. So I'm starting with concealer as usual, and I'm concealing under my eyes. I call it like the big spots, and I start with like my eyes, my nose, my chin, my forehead, and then I took my little like brush, my husband called it blemish brush, like my pimple brush, and I went over all of my breakouts because I had a ton of breakouts this day and I knew I was gonna need a ton of concealer, so I wanted to use the brush so that I could pile it on without having it look super cakey. So this is the way I went about doing it. I dotted it on and then I put a little concealer on my finger and dabbed over it, and then I moved on to powder foundation. Alright, so I am taking my MAC Prep and Prime translucent powder and putting that under my eyes just to help the concealer from caking, and then I'm moving on to bronzer. So I'm taking the bronzer, like I always say C3, I bring it down over my forehead and under my cheekbones and down my neck just to bring some color back into my face. And then I'm moving on to blush. So I use my Sleek palette, and I've said it a million times, I love this color. It's a very peachy, like peaches and cream look. So I put that on, and then I took my stippling brush and just kind of doled the lines so it wasn't such a harsh look. Then I'm moving on to eyebrows. So I filled in my eyebrows with my Sigma brow palette. You can just use any, brown that matches your eyes or your eyebrows. Filled those in, went over with gel, went under it with my highlighting pen. So then I set my brows in place with a brow gel, and then I took my Narcissist eyeshadow palette, and I just used two of the colors, this taupey color and this cream color, and these are way more pigmented than they look. As you can see, it went on way darker, so I put it in on the outer crease of my eye and just kind of blended it in with my little blendy brush, and I used my finger a little bit too. Like I said, I wasn't expecting it to be that pigmented, so if you're a big eyeshadow person, yeah, this palette's really pigmented, at least colors I used. So then I moved on to my other eye, blended it in like so. This was like my version of a smoky eye, guys. You know I don't go that intense, so this was like my smoky eye for the night. So did that to my other eye, and then I moved on to liquid eyeliner, which I'm not gonna lie, I had a really hard time with this on this night. I think I was like so nervous and excited to party that I just kept messing up my eyeliner. So you'll see my attempts, but I did end up having to clean it up a little off camera because I had to get off of the camera and closer to the mirror to see what I was doing. But this is me doing my eyeliner, guys. right, so then I'm moving on to mascara. You guys know this is my favorite mascara right now. It's my CoverGirl Clump Crusher. And then I applied it. I actually blended these two colors together. Went on first with the Revlon, topped it with the Jouer. And then now we're on to our outfits. So this is what I wore to the QVC event. This is with the jacket on. My jacket is from Zara. The dress was BCBG. The purse was Francesca's. And my flats were Teaks. And that's my dress, guys. I liked the little keyhole cutout in the front. And it just fit really well overall. All right, and then Dan, I kept calling him Ryan Gosling all night. I thought he looked so cute. This is like one of Dan's first like tailored nice suits that he's had like sized for him since our wedding. Actually, this is the first. So tell him in the comments that he looks like Ryan Gosling or super cute. So yeah, that is it. Be sure to check out my last couple videos if you feel like it. And I will see you all over the rest of the internet. Bye guys.